What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. You might notice that I am not really wearing sports gear, and it is because this might be a headline podcast more than anything.
Sure.
Seal, how are you doing? I see that you're wearing some sports of.
I'm doing great, and this is because we are going to be dabbling a little bit into the NBA postseason, and I feel like we're going to end up buying out Kevin Love or figuring out a way to ship him out in this off season. And thinking about it, I had a strong ass margarita after work tonight, so been drinking a little bit, but just thinking about it kind of brings me to a little bit of emotional roller coaster. And so I went to go put on my Adrunas Ilgauskas Cavs jersey. I was going to wear my Boston championship jersey, just to kind of shove it in your face, the championship with the golden rim that you wore about a month ago now when you were excited as fuck for the new season. But that championship lag really kicks in a little bit. But yeah, at least you're not on a mini season. It's still a mini-ish season.
Right.
So
we can bounce back. You guys could.
Yeah, for sure. But go get Doge while you can, guys. That's what I'm going to say to start out this thing.
So Seal got himself a margarita. I was drinking earlier. I ran out because we were starting late as fuck. But cheers to your boy Kevin Harlan.
Yes.
And decided to retire. He is out, or he will be out at the end of the season. This man has been broadcasting twice as long as we've been alive. It's unbelievable. Not even like a joke. I'm not even trying to exaggerate. I think he had a 55-year career, so not quite twice as long.
58 or almost 60.
Something. Almost 60. I know that because it said almost 6 decades. So almost as long as we've been alive. But that's his professional broadcasting career. Yeah. So if you count...
he spent 55 years as an NBA play-by-play announcer. Ending a broadcasting career spanning nearly 60 years.
If you count his college, his high school, which I'm sure he did something, then it's probably double our lifetime. So
some local news shit reporting on sports.
I know that if you play 2K, if you play NBA 2K, he is the voice. And
I didn't even think about him not being a part of 2K.
I know, anymore. Right? And he's talking to Doris Burke, and he's asking her like how she became a broadcaster, because she was obviously a basketball player. She played in college. And she was like, what about you, Kevin? Have you always been a broadcaster? And he said in high school, he used to fake broadcast from below the bleachers, looking out of the bleachers from underneath the bleachers. And like, that's fucking dedication.
Where we could have ended up if we actually had some kind of fucking initiative.
We were under the bleachers a lot, but we were not broadcasting.
And we always talked about going and buying some kind of little recording thing and
just
doing
to do it
at games. And we never did it.
And Kevin Harlan did
to a 10-year career, right?
Yeah, Kevin Harlan did, and I mean, it obviously turned him into a Hall of Fame broadcaster. The best NBA broadcaster that I know. Marv Albert's good, but
the best hairpiece on the ESPN for sure.
Mike Breen's pretty good, but like Kevin Harlan is the man. He's the guy. He's been the guy forever.
Mike Breen. Who's the bang?
That's Mike Breen,
right?
Yeah, that's Mike Breen.
I love Mike Breen. Then the silver-haired guy that's on ESPN TNT or ESPN basketball games a lot now.
I don't know him as much.
I can't think of his name. You'll know his voice.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Mike Breen. I think I told you I love Kevin Harlan whenever I sent you that Bane clip, and it was Mike Breen. But we both know that we love Kevin Harlan, so you said, yeah, me too.
Yeah, so Kevin Harlan is a legend. Basketball is my favorite sport to watch on TV, and even though he's never been on the court, he doesn't do anything on the court. The broadcast definitely listens, because if I was listening to just Jeff Van Gundy and fucking the Cavs coach talk the entire time, I would just hate my life. Mike Brown, what's his name? The other guy?
Mike Brown.
Yeah. If I listen to
he sold out.
If I listened to those two,
he was in Golden State. You don't remember that?
All right, yeah, okay. The Golden State coach. I don't care.
Do that. The Golden State assistant coach.
All I know him of is the Cavs coach.
He didn't have enough balls to go to the GM and tell him to get fucking LeBron some help.
All I know is he's the Cavs coach in my brain.
Nope.
In my brain, he's the Cavs coach.
Nope.
But
Warriors
anyway,
assistant.
If I was listening
Warriors coach at a low point in time.
If I was listening to Mike Brown and Jeff Van Gundy alone, not that Marv Albert deals with them, because he doesn't. But if I was dealing with those two alone, I would rip my ears out, I think, and probably listen to every show on mute. So I'm very happy that Marv Albert was the guy. And it is kind of surreal because you do think of, I was on JTV, which was our middle school like sports announcing thing. And I always thought that I was like the shit because me and Marcus were the two sports announcers and we were terrible. This was while you were probably still in like elementary school because it was my 7th grade year.
At JMS, yeah, I was 2 years behind you. I
didn't and we were so bad, but we both thought we were the shit. It was awesome.
You were too. So my 10th grade year was your senior year. So my 6th grade year would have been your 8th grade year. I didn't know because Scott Bassey was in your class, right?
No, he was a class above me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, so it wasn't. Who was it then? But my 6th grade year, there was somebody who was in 8th grade. Calhoun was his last name. But anyways, so yeah, I did go there in 6th grade while you were there in 8th grade. I never even thought about that.
We were on JTV, so it was me and Marcus Moats were the two the sports guys, and we were bad. It was bad, but Mr. Gaslam loved us, so whatever.
I tried out, and he did not like me because his wife did not like me.
He put me on there because he liked me because I was not one of the popular kids. It was really just all the popular kids, but then Mr. Gaslam was like, "I like this guy too. He's got something."
I love going to see all where the popular kids in my class are nowadays. It's funny as shit.
But to think like if I would have had any initiative whatsoever, like I was put in the position to do it and I just didn't do it. So shout out to Mario Albert. He did it. He did his thing. I always grew up thinking you had to be a sports like player to also be an announcer. So he proved us wrong. He was really one of the main ones other than Jim Nance that really proved you don't have to be playing football or playing the sport to be good.
And EJ, Ernie Johnson.
True.
He just is the way he handles everything. I always, every couple months, I'll go and try to look up the clip. It was like 2015. I forget what happened, what officer, like what happened with all that social injustice. And that was really the beginning of like the start of it kind of. It was like probably 2016, 2017 actually. But and Shaq and fucking the Jet and Chuck were pissed, and EJ went on like a 3-4 minute rant, and I always try to look it up, but the way he's always been able to handle himself and know basketball just as well as 2 Hall of Famers or 3 Hall of Famers,
3 Hall of Famers,
2 champions, and then Chuck. And it's just awesome the way these guys who never really played the sport are impacting it, and off the court just as well. Like, I'm really sad I'm not probably going to hear Kevin Harlan talk about Brandon. What's my last name on there? Junior? Yeah, Junior right now. It's Junior this year.
I get to have Kilpatrick. Thank you, Sean Kilpatrick, for your 1 year in the NBA before you went overseas. But
yeah, and in MLB, I could have Silly because his name's Seale. It's Silly. I'm sick of it. There's so many Sills. There's like 15 Brandon Sills. There's a Dr. Brandon Sill. Why can't there be
no baseball player?
Come on, dude.
Sean Kilpatrick got me my spot in the games, which is awesome. So I got to hear Kevin Harlan talk about me.
I do. It's not really a shout out. It's something I did want to bring up early into the podcast. I don't know if a lot of people do have awareness on it. The casual sports fans who probably do watch this podcast for the most part. But Juwan James, the Broncos tackle. So I guess I looked into it a little bit more since we've talked. So I guess the facilities are open. Rookie minicamps going on. So the players do have the option to go and use the facility right now. So since he didn't when he blew his Achilles out and had to get surgery on it, he is like liable upon himself for that injury. And since he's not able to perform on the team, they are able to cut him and not pay him. And I said $10 million to you the other day. It's actually a $15 million for this year contract. And I guess maybe after this year, I doubt it was a 1 year thing. Right. But yeah, now he's gone and he's torn his Achilles. So he's out $15 million, which was probably his first payday.
Yeah.
I think he got drafted last year. So, or maybe even this year. Who fucking knows? I didn't see all that.
We don't normally talk about scrubs, but that is a scrub move by Denver. And I'm hoping that some players will jump in or somebody will jump in and really help this man out.
Especially a team who doesn't pay anybody other than Von Miller.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't win either. Like, it's not that I would justify it for winning, but winning teams like the Patriots get away with doing stupid shit like that. But a losing team's not going to. So I feel like they're going to get the brunt of the media. They're going to get players like whoever the NFL equivalent of like the Kyrie Irvings and those guys that have been stepping up and saying things. Somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to pay for his surgery. Somebody's going to do all that. And Denver's going to be in big fire.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I wanted to point it out. That's definitely, if we still did the scrub and stud of the weeks, they would probably end up being the scrubs this week. Yeah. That's just, I mean, I get not wanting to pay him the $15 million because he's injured, but to find that loophole to not have to, like, I get being frustrated. You can be frustrated with the fact that he got injured before the season even started, but you signed the man to a contract. You can't find a loophole in the contract to avoid him and just pretty much, like, his career could be over. This isn't basketball. It's not KD, who only weighs 100 pounds and he's 7'10". Like, it's different. This offensive tackle is 300 and something pounds, who is constantly backpedaling. On a team like Denver, who doesn't, I mean, they don't have a quarterback, so I guess he wouldn't be backpedaling too much in these run blocking scenarios. But still, he's constantly using his lower body. His Achilles is definitely getting pressured all the time. So we can both assume that his career is probably over. If not over, he's never going to be 100% again. Right. So he's not going to get that $15 million a year contract ever again. Yeah. And it sucks and it's stupid and ignorant on the part of the Broncos to pull that loophole and actually continue doing it.
Absolutely. So shout out to him, though. I mean, hopefully somebody on the team or
you say absolutely a lot.
Yeah, because it's absolute. I am absolutely hoping that somebody steps up and does something about it.
I was thinking, look, you see this right here? Wait, where is it? Right here. That thing right there?
Yeah, your tattoo? What do you...
No, the little white piece right there. The glare thing. Yeah. I thought it was like the arrow right there. Like that. I thought it was the arrow, and I just wanted to move it, and it's not the arrow.
But yes, I do say absolutely a lot because I believe absolutely. That's how it goes. That's my affirmation thing.
For sure.
Exactly. Something like that. So
love you, dog.
I mean, you're a dumbass. You're just drunk. It happens. But that's just what you do when you affirm someone. But anyways, let's move on and let's talk about another shout out that I have, and that is Sabrina Ionescu. When she came out, she was Kobe Bryant's protege in the WNBA. She was supposed to be the next thing since Diana Taurasi. There's been a few next big things, but Diana Taurasi is the GOAT, at least in my eyes. And she was supposed to be the next one. And she is now the youngest woman to get a triple-double, and she beat it by over 2 years. She's 23 years and like 100 and something days, and 25 and 200 and something days was the previous record. So this girl's killing it. She just hit a game winner last week.
In her first game in the opener.
The game winner,
of the season.
And this was her 6th game ever that she got the triple-double. So she is already just out there just firing. So shout out to her big time.
She came out game 1 repping the old school 8 Kobe. Yep. So she was going to go with that old school fucking killer mentality. I mean,
yeah, and they asked her. They said
a ball hogger as he was in the old school 24.
Right, she passes like a monk. She's good.
Yeah.
But they asked her about that game winner, and she goes, "Well, I wanted it, so of course I was going to get it." Like very Kobe mentality. It was awesome to see. So Kobe lives on, and it's in the WNBA. So if you love Kobe and you loved watching that attitude, love watching that skill, watch Sabrina Ionescu. She is beast mode,
and he's definitely going to be there. Not Gigi. Who was the other one? She's like trying her hardest to like try to learn how to play basketball. So that could happen. But with Vanessa and the fashion thing going on, I doubt it. But yeah, with Sabrina, we definitely are going to be able to see the woman side of that mentality for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see these guys who keep coming out, and especially since he's passed, they're going to start more so. I mean, it sucks that it happens when people pass away and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people who have put their game towards like LeBron and KD, and not a lot of people who have had that skill set. But the way these kids are able to come out and be freak athletics wise, we're going to have another Kobe, especially after he's passed away. Some of these guys are going to be like, all right, I'm going to transition my game to be like him, and I'm going to rep him in everything I do. And 2-3 years, we're going to have some just cold-blooded Kobe coming out doing that.
Lillard is the closest, in my opinion, as far as just
that cold-blooded
getting
shit
cold
for sure.
when it's the clutch. He just locks in and does what's got to be done.
For sure, and I hate playing Lillard and 2K, just like I used to hate playing Kobe in 2010 to 2009 is when 2K really, it was 2010 when they really classified themselves as the basketball game. To like 2014, I fucking hated playing the Lakers, and it was because I might end up dropping 50, 60 in the usual game where my team will blow them out by 30. We're probably going to lose or win by 5 or 6 because Kobe just dropped 50 every fucking game.
Yeah, they loved him, dude. They used to play him all the time, which is awesome, but whatever.
He was the reason I played point guard because I hated.
You didn't want to be shooting.
I hated playing shooting guard. I didn't play small forward because of LeBron. I would usually end up on the Cavs back in the day on NBA Live, and then in 2K, I didn't want to play LeBron. And then whenever he got on the Heat in 2012, whenever I played with Toronto and would just fuck the Heat up. But then I get in the championship and I'd win, but it was not in 4 games because Kobe would go absolute shitballs when I was simmed out on the bench.
Right. So watch Sabrina Ionescu. I mean, in WNBA, a lot of people got a lot of flack because they don't dunk, which is just stupid in general. But if you just watch the games, they're so skilled, they're so good, and it's getting better to the point where there's more parity. Everybody loves parity in sports. It's not just one team and one player dominating like it used to be with the like 3 or 4 great girls that there are. There are a lot of great girls. There's a new MVP every year. It's really fun to watch. It's you got to get yourself in a different mindset because there's not the Blake Griffins jumping over cars. But if you love good basketball, if you love fundamentals, if you love watching what's going on.
It's definitely like an old head type of game. Whenever you watch them and you look at the stands, it's a lot of older cats that watch it. And as I get older, I like it more because it is graceful. It's beautiful basketball to watch. And it might not be as fun for the average fan who likes to watch basketball for the exciting shit. But for the people who really love the intricacies of basketball, more often than not, you're going to be like, ooh, yeah, that was clean.
Absolutely. So the next little headline / shout out, it's pick a side. And I think we both had the same side because we've talked about it before. And it is a player swinging at a 3-0 pitch. I don't know if you've seen this. Yerman Mercedes cranked a pitch. So these dudes were up like 15-3. Did you see this?
No.
They were up like 15-3. Who does he play for? The Twins or something? He plays for the White Sox. They were playing against the Twins. So they're up like 15-3. The Twins bring in a shortstop or an infielder of some sort because they were out of bullpen guys. Dude throws a 47. Well, first he threw 3 balls. Threw a 47-mile-an-hour pitch, just try to get the ball over. Dude cranks it over the center field wall, just straight crushes it. Yerman Mercedes was his name. Well, Tony La Russa, the White Sox coach, was pissed. I mean, absolutely pissed. So this is a pick aside. You got Tony La Russa, the old heads, the respect the unwritten rules of baseball, or the dude with it's 3-0, you know a fucking strike is coming. Let's swing and get it going. Which side do you take?
Stats, baby.
Get your stats, baby.
So Tony La Russa, and it's weird that he would pick that side because when you think of him on St. Louis,
he was the brash.
Yeah, you just think of them just fucking knocking people in the mouth.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again, pitching and hitting. And I mean, I don't recall St. Louis being too much of a stealing, like aggressive team. It was just what he had on that team and what he did. So I mean, yeah, I get he's old as shit. What is he, 93 now?
He's old as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even back then, I guess the players he had and the way baseball was, it wasn't too head lit. Like there wasn't too much of a bright light on this topic, really. So he didn't have to come out and talk about it every game like the Padres manager does.
Right.
So, but I mean, it is the way the game is nowadays. It's about having fun. It's about trying to get 20 fucking runs in a game and looking at the pitchers and laughing the whole time when they're going across and looking at your guys and shooting the old guns and then going back in and putting on the panda hat like Acuna Jr. did today. It's a fun game nowadays, and fun is part of yanking that 40-mile-an-hour fastball, just straight no movement pitch over center field. Yeah, it's part of it. But yeah, Tony La Russa is going to stand up for the intangibles of the
Right.
MLB, just like anybody else would at his age. Terry Francone, I want to shout him out really.
Mm.
The Indians are becoming one of those intricate teams, not intricate. What am I trying to say? Like more vibrant kind of teams and have fun really. And I mean, they're still one of the more intricate teams in the league still to this day, but they're starting to have fun. Terry Francona is an old coach, but he also was able to control Manny and deal with Big Papi and all them guys and
Right.
kind of loosen up. But he's an old head as well. He's been around not 60 years like Tony La Russa has, but he's been around for a long time, and now he's one of the old heads with all these new coaches around nowadays. But it's not about respect anymore of the other team. It's not about that. It still respect the game. I still have all respect for the game of baseball. But if the other team gets mad, I said get mad, gets mad, who gives a flying fuck?
Yeah.
Like really, we're in
And to be
2021,
fair,
dude. Who cares?
Yeah, and to
You
be
gotta
fair,
care.
he
If you're
didn't
having fun, who cares?
he didn't taunt, he didn't
Yeah.
do anything, but don't throw me
That's
a
good.
batting practice fastball down. Like, I'm gonna swing at that. And when you know it's a 3-0 count, you know they're trying to get it
Like,
across the plate.
what do you want
Like,
me? That's exactly. What do you want
Yeah.
them to do? Sit there and wait for the fourth
which
one?
is
No.
what you did back in the 80s and the 90s. You took the
No.
pitch. You
Yeah.
always take the 3-0 pitch. That's the quote unquote unwritten rule of it. You always take 3-0
If
when you're
Chipper
up
Jones
12 or whatever.
would have,
but-
if Chipper Jones would have grew up in this mentality of age in baseball, he would have been even more of he would have been one of the greatest hitters. Fuck being the greatest switch hitter.
yeah.
Just the mentality of fuck it. He had
Yeah.
the utmost respect for the game of baseball and took so many balls when he
Yep.
should have fucking ripped them. And it's just, it's just the way it is today. It's just,
if you blow all of your bullpen, you've let in 15 runs, you have to put in an infielder to pitch. Hey, you're expecting them to just start cranking. Just tell your pitcher to throw a fourth ball. Get to the next guy. Like, don't worry about it. But yeah, he threw a
Chipper
47
had one of the best eyes I've ever seen. And if it got to 2-1, he did not mind taking the next pitch. And if it got to 3-1, he took the next one.
Yeah.
Today's that 2-1 pitch.
He always took the first
nowadays,
pitch.
The way the pitchers are nowadays, that
Yep.
2-1 pitch is more than likely going to be a fastball or a slider
Yeah.
somewhere hittable. Nowadays, he's cranking that shit.
Chipper always took the first pitch, and he pretty much always took if he was ahead in the count. Like, just pretty much every time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would change for sure.
Not today.
But did you see the meme? Just a random aside because we were talking about Braves. It was like Greg Maddox Appreciation Day or some shit, and they were showing these quotes about him, and he was like, "Yeah, when some people don't get the call on the inside or whatever," because he was talking about get balls that looked like strikes, but they got called balls. And he's like, "Yeah, usually most people try to throw 100 the next pitch." And he goes, "I always just tried to throw it even closer to the line." I'm like, geez, like he never, his control was unbelievable. People that didn't live in the 90s, they will never understand because baseball is just not that way anymore. Dude was throwing like 85-mile-an-hour fastballs and nobody could touch him. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just randomly saw that. And
that's kind of how I felt with my fucking high 70s balls. Like I wasn't throwing chunk the neck to Joey. He was throwing high 80s, so my high 70s didn't look like anything, but I was always just scraping the fucking black every pitch.
Those mid-90s Braves are where it's at, and somehow they only got one World Series out of it. But whatever. But yeah, so we're both on the side of take your stats, be a good player. Don't be an asshole. Like don't talk
respect
shit.
the game. Respect the game.
You can bat flip, you can do some stuff, but
not up 15. Not when you're at
don't Tatis that. But
that's a all right. I mean,
jog it off.
Give it to me, bro, and just walk around. That's not a suck my dick from the back kind of.
No, the guy did like just a normal home run celebration.
And I don't think that's what gets on the nerves of them so much. Is that's more of a ritual kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like in baseball is built around rituals. Everybody knows that. Same socks, some kind of weird shit. Everybody does it in baseball. If you don't do it, you're probably not in the majors. It's just that mental type shit that baseball players do. If I didn't wash mine during the same week, I went with the same socks all week long.
Nice.
But yeah, that didn't fucking help. I ain't shit. But with them guys, it's just some mental shit. So yeah, it's but just my thing is don't start fucking the game. That's my only thing. If you're up 15, do what he did. But and that's I feel like that's the way the game's starting to move. But
Yeah.
pride nowadays is always on the forefront, and people are always trying to flaunt their chest a little bit, the younger guys. So with Tatis doing that dumb shit. So that's the thing that really I think more so nowadays the players are getting pissed off about, which I'm fine with. You want to disrespect the other team, that's fine and all that shit. But if it's a 3-2 game and you knock it, that's cool.
Well, it's 15, funny because the players I've never heard really get too mad about it. Even
it's
the pitchers. Like the pitchers don't even
still
necessarily get too mad about it, except like Verlander and the older.
We've seen even this year when Trevor Bauer, they asked him like, "You weren't pissed off when Tatis got you twice?" He was like, "No, I mean, I need to pitch better." But the reason they asked him that is because so many of the pitchers in the league still nowadays are still butthurt about this shit. But it's Kershaw's finally coming around. He doesn't really get
he's on the fence.
But it's a lot better than fucking 6-7 years ago. That's for sure. Chris Sale's still his cold self. It's just nowadays there's not really any of the old heads now much anymore. But it's still the pitchers really get butt hurt. But it's the same thing. If you pitch the right ball, they're not going to put it there. It doesn't matter if the catcher calls it.
Yeah.
To get off the fucking whatever the fuck.
The mound? What do you?
Yeah. No, it's called something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The plastic piece on the mound.
The rubber.
Yeah, back off the rubber.
So the last thing I want to talk about with baseball is a team that should never get talked about because they suck. And we've brought up this before. Every media member's brought up this before. They are wasting. Now they're not only wasting one career, they're wasting two careers. And that is the Los Angeles
Yankees
Angels of Anaheim. Everyone has talked about how they're wasting Mike Trout's career, and Mike Trout is now having the best year of his career. Sadly, he just got a calf strain. He's probably out 6 to 8 weeks, but he's batting .333. He's going to win the freaking everything that he always wins every single year. He's the LeBron James of baseball. We know that. But now they're also wasting Shohei Ohtani's career. He leads the league in home runs. He's also dealing he's got great pitching numbers. I didn't look them up. And they're 7 games back in their conference. They're 5 games under 500. What do you do if you're the Angels? And how do you do it?
Ohtani's fucked. Just like with Michael Trout, he brings
Michael
attention.
Trout. Look at you pulling out his full name.
He brings attention.
Yeah.
Shohei Tone O'Shaughnessy, hey, nay. We'll bring out his full name too. But he brings attention to the team. It's not like an Albert Pujols who's 50 years old but still a robot and can still perform. Right. He brings love to the team. He's not bringing media attention anymore. And that's why I think it was an easy move. One, he doesn't have to sell his house to go to the Dodgers, but he also doesn't have to sell tickets either for the Dodgers either.
Right.
So that was fine for them. They knew they wanted to get rid of him because he doesn't sell tickets anymore. And also they have Shohei to do that now, to sell the tickets. So he's fucked. He's going to be in the same.
He's on the Angels forever. Yeah, he's done.
So he's in the same carousel of, I shouldn't have done it.
But what do you do if you're the Angels now? Because you're paying Mike Trout anything he asks for. Obviously, he's going to go down as the greatest of all time since Babe Ruth, and he will surpass Babe Ruth. He's the greatest of all time. Then you're going to have Shohei Ohtani, who's also going to ask for a lot of money. Baseball doesn't really have a salary cap. They have a weird little soft salary cap. Do you have to just say hey, Mickey Mouse, fucking give us some money so we can pay some people? What do you have to do here if you're the Angels? How do you get better when you have these two guys?
You have to go out and
you got to Yankees it and Dodgers it and just
you have to be aggressive. Yeah, and that's and you see it every year in free agency. Every year there's always somebody that any team could get better off of, and you never hear the fucking Angels as a potential buy.
Right.
You never hear that. You never hear them up in the top 5 contract offers. You might hear that they're interested, but they're probably lowballing the fuck out of all these guys.
For sure. They're still one of the lowest payrolls, by the way, with 2 superstars. They're still the third lowest.
If you're Shohei, you have to look at Mike Trout and not double up and really decide if you like being here or if you want to go and win. Because Shohei, and what is it, 4 years from now? If he keeps going, whenever that extension or free agent option comes, he's going to need to decide, am I going to be that fucking piece to the puzzle that another team needs? And there's always 3 or 4 teams that could use a Mike Trout. And now if you can use one of the best hitters in the league and who can go out there and get you a win, at least 10, 11 times a year, yeah, there's teams out there. The Dodgers could use that right now. Red Sox could use that right now. Really, our hitting is great, but why not fucking make it better and
everybody
add something
except
else
the
to the
White
rotation?
Sox could use that right now.
Yeah, everything besides that we could use something besides Nathan Eovaldi. That'd be great in our rotation. That'd be fucking awesome. So yeah, a lot of teams could use that piece of the puzzle. So he needs to decide if he wants that extra 30-40 million dollars that he's going to get from the Angels, or if he wants to go win a ring for only getting $40 million a year.
The thing is, he knows, or hopefully he knows, he specifically chose the Angels. Remember, I mean, we had Ohtani sweepstakes. All 30 teams wanted him. Nobody had rights to him. He wasn't drafted. He wasn't anything like that. He could have literally went wherever he wanted, and he chose the Angels. So that's over with, or that will be over with by the time his contract is up. And I think he has to understand at this point, his agent, whoever it is, the Angels aren't spending. They don't care. They don't want to win. It does not look like they want to win. I don't know who their ownership group is. I don't know who else they own, if it's another sports team, if they just do businesses or what they do. But clearly they don't care about winning baseball. They won a World Series now, 10, 12 years ago, whenever it was. And they're riding those coattails, and it's starting to run out. You have Mike Trout. They've had Mike Trout for multiple years, and they've been the bottom dwellers. Luckily for them, the Texas Rangers are also in their division, but they have been second or third in the league every single year from the bottom, obviously, every single year with the GOAT, the greatest of all time. So Trout is going to leave. He has to leave. He has to do something, because you can't be the greatest of all time without a ring. And the Angels haven't shown anything, and Ohtani might do it too, and they could just be out with nothing.
And in baseball, you can, as a player, you can pay to get out, correct? Or am I mistaken?
Yeah, he can pay off the end of his salary.
Yeah,
if he wants
to.
Yeah,
and
but he's got 10 more years on. He ain't doing that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But I'm talking with Ohtani. Like, you can pay off your. So at the end of this year, because it's the start that Ohtani has had last week, they said, I don't want you to pitch. We don't want you to pitch today. We're going to take you off the rotation. He's like, bet, I'll play in the field.
Right.
I'm going to play.
Went to right field or wherever he goes.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to play.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you don't want me to pitch, that's fine with me, but I'm going to play. So after this year, he's going to realize, hey, here's this $40 million that you owe me. I'm going to go sign with a team next year and make fucking $80 million and get that $40 million contract that you're trying to give me every fucking 3 years, and get that in 1 year, and then pay you year 40. And then I'm going to get $80 million a year from another team that wants to win a championship. So that's what they need to do this year in free agency. Fucking
empty their pockets.
Buy. All they really need is a couple more pitchers and another hitter, and they're fucking set. Like, they can get 4 runs a game right now all day long, but they're losing fucking 7-4, 8-4.
Right. They've needed pitchers the entire time,
and drizzle another hitter in that bitch, and that's the championship waiting to happen.
And it's funny, because as a Red Sox fan, that's literally what you guys did. You were low spenders for a long time.
Yep.
You spent for 2 years or 3 years, won a championship. Now you're back to low spending again. But you did what needed to be done.
We had Beckett. We brought up Beckett.
Right.
We traded for Poppy. We had Manny. We traded for Pedro early from the A's, from the Blue Jays, I believe.
Yeah, but you had to pay Pedro.
After the first one though. But we really brought these guys up, but we realized what we had, and we went out and got Kurt. We went out and got Cap. So we realized what we had, and we knew what we had to do to break the curse, and we were able to fucking do it. And because I started watching in 2001, 2002, when it was just Poppy and Manny, and then we got Cap, we got Kurt. Beckett got called up and was a fucking monster with his little baby face, fat chin looking ass. And we won a fucking championship in 2004.
Right.
And it was because they saw what they had and they knew what they had to add to it. And they had realized what they had done for the last 100 fucking years wasn't working. So they went out and spent all that money to get the extra pitching help and the relief help. And we traded off Nomar, and we were able to get something else for another pitcher for that, I believe. And bam, done.
Yeah. So I think that has to be the approach of the Angels. The AL is up for grabs. It has been ever since the cheaters got exposed. So it's up for grabs. And sadly, the freaking Astros are doing well again. So we need to get some other teams up here to stop them. So hopefully they spin. I hope they spin. I'm not even an Angels fan. I live right up the road from the stadium, but I'm not an Angels fan. But I see what they do, and there are fans here. And there's not even Angels fans. There's Trout fans, and people want to see Trout do well. I want to see Trout do well, and to see him go out every single game and just get better. I mean, if you remember, Mookie Betts, when he won his AL MVP, was getting talk of, is he going to surpass Mike Trout? And now 3 years later, 2 years later, whatever it is, Trout is miles above Mookie now. Mookie is still climbing, but just at a normal rate. Trout was like, fuck that, and shot up even further.
But also, I mean, Mookie's still there defensively.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to knock Mookie at all. He's
the best offensive player. Even right now, I think one of the best outfielders of all time. But at the plate, he's not the fucking terror he was 3 years ago.
But Trout does everything too, but just keeps getting better at it. And it's unreal. Like, you can't even compare. And that was not a knock to Mookie. Obviously, I'm a Mookie fan. And he is continuing up. He was the NL MVP talks, and he's going to be for a long time. But Trout is on another level. He's literally on the greatest of all time trajectory. And if he doesn't even get a playoff appearance, listen, winning the World Series is tough, but not even a playoff appearance, that's inexcusable, and they just can't do it.
Yeah, and just think about any league, basketball. Think about MJ never winning a title. Think about LeBron never winning a title. When you think of
Brady,
hockey,
anybody.
Think about Gretzky never getting to the show. Think about Sid, who is probably going to end up being the Michael Trout of hockey, really. The overall greatest player, maybe not the top scorer that Gretzky was.
Everything.
And all that. Just everything. Yeah, Sid's probably one of the best, if not the best hockey player of all time. And Ovechkin's up there for one of the best, just pure scorers.
Right.
But Gretzky's the overall. But I think Sid is, and that's what Mike Trout is. Tom Brady even is one of those guys like we saw last year with Tampa Bay. Right. Who can just go and change things. If Mike Trout was on any of the teams that are third or fourth in any of the National League or the American League, they're going to be first next month.
Right.
That's going to happen. And it's just a shame, really. And that's what Ohtani could be in 4 or 5 years. The best dual threat player of all time, just stuck, not even getting to a chance to get into the playoffs.
He's trying to change the game, and it's looking like he's got the potential to change the game. This is a breakthrough year for him. So hopefully
he literally changed the video game.
He did. He changed the video game, the only MLB video game that is realistic in any sense. He has made it to where you can be a two-way player in the game. And so, that's awesome. And I hope he continues it. I'd love if they both came to the Dodgers and won us some more World Series. But even if it's the Angels, I hope somebody gets these two guys propelled up. If we want to trade Pujols for Trout and Ohtani, then sure, I would gladly take that trade.
They just got him.
They're paying him to be on our team is what they're doing. It's amazing. We only had to pay him the veterans minimum. They're paying the rest of his contract.
And now he's hurt, so you're really happy.
I don't know if he's actually hurt, but yeah, during this, he got hit with a pitch and got subbed out, which maybe he just got subbed out because he's slow and he can't run the bases. I don't really know, but he did get subbed out after getting hit by a pitch. I didn't get to watch video or anything, but he might be injured, and I did call it.
And you did this. Seal, so. You did this.
So if he's hurt, Dodgers fans, I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But
what about Pujols? You're not sorry to him if you did this to him?
Not at all sorry to him.
What if he really broke a couple ribs? Like, what if it was one of these and he got pelted right there and broke a rib or two?
Have a good 2 or 3 months, bro. Get better.
I am affecting you in the worst way.
I don't like Pujols. I don't want him to be seriously hurt, obviously, but I also don't want him to be on the Dodgers. So I want him to be hurt enough to where the Dodgers cut him. He gets healthy, goes off to another team. Get out of here. So let's shift to basketball before we actually talk about nothing for the entire podcast. The basketball playoffs did start. All we've gotten to watch was the Eastern Conference play-ins, and neither game was really that good. The first game was the Pacers just absolutely shitting on the Hornets. The Hornets overachieved this year. We knew that. It was awesome. Somebody forgot to tell LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier that there was a game tonight. And so they sent in their stunt doubles, I guess, or something. But the two best players on the team, if you don't count Miles Bridges, who is just a dunker, the two best players on the team did not show up, did not do their thing. They combined, I don't even remember, I think LaMelo was 4 of 14 and Rozier was like 2 of 10 or something, maybe even worse. So those shooting stats are not gonna pan out. But to their credit, the Pacers dominated.
I don't know what happened. I wasn't able to watch the first game. You kind of said your rookie of the year kind of fucked it up. But
yeah.
But Bismack didn't play. He played 3 minutes. I don't know if he got hurt or what.
I didn't get to see it that early.
Sabonis had 21 boards, my guy. And he just
and he's a dude like he's like your size. I mean, he's bigger than you, but he looks like he's like your size when he's out there with these monsters down low. It's crazy.
And he didn't do too much on that, but just 21 boards yourself. Let me see what the rebound.
I think they had like 6 guys in double figures though. They were really getting the ball around, which when you win by 30 points or whatever it was, they ended up winning by. They were winning by almost 40, and then they let Charlotte come back at the end. But
18 rebound differential. No. They were +5 on the offensive side of rebounds. That's going to win the game probably by 10, but just because of how the pace, they're very well coached, and having people like Sabonis in the locker room is going to help them. And the fact that they were able to get, I mean, it's not a knock on Oladipo or anything like that.
Well, LeVert was out too, though.
And that's what I was about to say. Being able to get rid of a guy like Oladipo and being able to build that team around a team and not having to go to one guy.
Yeah.
And also with a playmaker like Chris LeVert, who they've been trying to feed since he's been back out, that team was able to play that same ball that they got used to playing. Exactly. They didn't have to try to force feed somebody, which can kind of slow down the team play, especially with a team like the Pacers. So they were just out there doing what they were able to do for the last fucking 8 months before Chris LeVert came back and after Oladipo got gone. And they were just having a fucking field day out there with a team who, like we both said, didn't really need to be in the playoffs, but they did so good early on that they just wind up in the playing game.
Well, hopefully they can continue that. They have to play one more game. And sadly, the reward if they win this next game is to play the 76ers in a 7-game series. But I hope they win next game. Actually, I'm torn because I like the Wizards too. But I want to see Karis LeVert come in and actually get to play. He's in COVID protocol. The NBA protocol is way better than the MLB protocol is. So he'll actually be back, but not by Thursday or whenever that game is. So I kind of hope they win for that because I want him to come in and play. But it doesn't matter if it's them or the Wizards. They're going to lose to the 76ers. So the next game, the one that did matter to see, the winner gets to take on the Nets, another series that's going to be a blowout. We both thought the Wizards were going to win. We thought the Celtics, after Jaylen Brown was out, were just toast. They were done. And Jason Tatum said, "Not so fast, my friend," to pull the old Kornheiser out. That he took over. He got 50 points. He made sure that Beal and Westbrook didn't stop him. Yeah, Westbrook was balling. Bill was okay, but Westbrook was balling.
Before we make this 3 minutes all about Jason Tatum, I do want to shout out Kimber real quick. He probably heard the podcast, heard me talk about how he was washed up, done. He scored 29. He definitely made a difference.
Yeah.
He's not the guy he used to be. He didn't
stop Westbrook though at all.
That was worse than that. No, I'm talking about with the playmaking. He used to make sure the guys look great. He had 2 assists. 2 assists. That's insane to think of Kemba Walker with 29 points and 2 assists. If you said that 3 years ago, I'm like, does he still play for Charlotte? Nope, not anymore. Not even more. They just give the ball to Jason Tatum, let him go score 50, and then sometimes if Kemba's not shooting, he'll pass it to somebody. And if they're not doing so much ball movement like Boston likes to do, he'll just throw it right up and give Kemba an assist. That is crazy to see. Holy shit.
But yeah, Westbrook and Bill both almost ended with triple doubles, but neither of them were able to do too much. Beal was shut down. I mean, Jason Tatum was locking him down. He finished with 22 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds, I think, something like that. So he played well, but he couldn't do anything. And then I think it was Marcus Smart that was on Westbrook because Walker goes off and hides on whoever the worst player is. But their defense really looked good, which it hasn't the last month.
Yeah, and Russ, I saw a couple of early, and I just didn't understand why the Wizards were losing. I called Russ with a couple of them stupid walk up, mid range, pop up,
just whiffs,
brick cities, and he finished the game.
Which even if you make it, it's a bad two. So even making it's a bad.
He did that twice. I got to watch maybe a minute and a half of that game, and twice he did that. So he didn't help at all, and I'm sure the Wizards are rethinking that trade that they did to get him. But I mean, I don't know either. They were in the play-in game, and
they get another shot. We can talk about that in a second, but
they'll be for sure. But the Celtics, the Celtics look scary, dude.
Yeah, but against the Nets, so they get the Nets now in a best of 7. Do they actually look scary? Do you think they look scary, or is this kind of like a Warriors situation where Tatum can win a couple games, but that's it?
Well, so what I'm thinking of is if it's Tatum scoring against KD, and then you have Kemba scoring against Kyrie, and then 3 other dudes trying to match up, or 4 or 5 other dudes trying to match up with fucking the Beard.
Right.
Yeah, the Celtics probably do have a shot because defensively the Nets are fucking asshole.
They have to do it 4 times though.
What was this?
So what this was, 45 minutes into the podcast, everyone. I apologize. This was supposed to be the very first thing that I talked about. But if you were missing our last episode, head over to YouTube. It's on YouTube. I accidentally hit the power button on my laptop while it was trying to convert the recording, and the sound recording got fucked up. But the video is there. Video and audio is there on YouTube. So head over to youtube.com.
And we're not going to edit this into the front.
Loud. I don't know how to do it. I'll try, but probably not. Anyways, that's on YouTube. So go check it out.
Shit. Yeah, at least you can edit the audio one. At least let the people on audio
I'll try to get it in there.
Oh my gosh.
We suck at memory. But anyways, maybe the Celtics have a chance, but you just hate the Nets because you hate Kevin Durant and you're mad at Kyrie Irving. But actually, you love Kyrie Irving for one moment.
I still love. Yeah, he shot her around the world, baby. But
and we both.
No, I just really think if it is the Celtics, they do have a chance.
Well, it is the Celtics
able to step up.
They just won.
Yeah, it is. But if they're able to step up, they can get it done. They can.
They have to do it 4 times though. I can't see that happening.
That's the thing. And real quick, did you hear about this whole Kendrick Perkins thing, starting up a whole thing about NBA championship harder than NFL championship?
Yeah,
it's harder. It's harder. And the NFL.
Well, Booger, I think, started it because I think Booger, didn't he say the NFL was harder first, and then Perkins clapped back, which nobody cares about what either of those two have to say about anything ever.
It's harder in the NFL.
And then Calais Campbell stepped up and actually made a well thought out response.
Yeah, it's harder in the NFL because in the NBA, if it's one game, the Celtics could definitely get off on the Nets in one game for sure. But in 7 games, yeah, you're right.
But it's
5 or 6.
It is easier for the better team to win an NFL game, I think, in a one-off. Yeah. Like if it were one-off, the NBA would have so much parity, whereas the NFL still doesn't. Like the best team still tends to win. Yeah, there's any given Sunday. Yeah, a team can win.
All right, let's just if the NFL's 2 out of 3 in the playoffs, the Saints get a lot farther than they did.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. Like a 1-game series is always going to be harder than a 7-game series for the better team to win. That's obvious. But I'm saying if it was just 1 game, I don't think the best team in the NBA would ever win if they had 1-game series the way that the NFL does. Whereas the NFL, the better team still most of the time wins. I mean, you get the Jags in the conference championship every now and then, but the best team still tends to win.
Sure.
Yeah, you see that little dig I just threw at you?
But I mean, fuck you. But anyways, like with the Miami Heat, those 1 out of 10 games Duncan Robinson goes off, they usually win by like 30.
Right.
So yeah, I see that, and that's why the NFL is so beautiful. That's why it's so just great. Like,
but when there's 53 players and 4 long ass quarters, the better team tends to win more often than not.
For sure.
And that happens in both sports, by the way. If you look back and see the NBA championship, at least matchups, it's usually the two of maybe the 3 or 4 best teams in the league. It's not ever a surprise team that's there. For
3 years ago, it should have been the Saints instead of the Rams, for sure.
So every now and then, when the 49ers were there, it could have been somebody else as well. Yeah. But it happens every now and then, but they're still one of the better teams.
Go back in the day when Tennessee beat, what was it, Buffalo?
Well, when Tennessee should have won the whole entire freaking thing?
Oh, when the Jaguars should have won?
You mean
when the Jaguars should have won in 99? In 99. So I forget. So we won. We went to the AFC Championship game and we played Tennessee. The reason Tennessee got there is because on the final kickoff, they were fucking losing because they fucking suck. And the runner ran around to the right and then he threw it forward 1.5 yards. And there was no replay back then.
And then Tennessee should have won the Super Bowl and they fucked it up. So
nope. Air McNutt.
He should have won. Or it wasn't his fault. He didn't do shit. He made his play. He did what he could do.
R.I.P. Steve, love you, bro, but fuck the Titans.
He did what he could do. He played as well as he could.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, let's talk about maybe.
I should have one of these.
Maybe you have one with other sports with the sport you're wearing right now. Let's talk about the game that we actually know is happening, not the Jags history or the Tennessee history, and that is Washington now against Indiana. Do you want to win first? Let's talk about that. Obviously, you want to win, but there could be some harpings that Charlotte maybe didn't want to win because if you lose, you get into the lottery. If you win, you have to face Philly. You don't get to get in the lottery. You're stuck where you're at. I mean, do you really want to win?
Yes, but it's going to be really hard for you to tell the Pacers coach and tell Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal to fucking fold this bitch. So yes. Right. The players want to win. The organizations, both of these teams. I mean, if the Celtics were in this situation, we probably do want to win.
Yeah.
Maybe so. If you're Charlotte, we're fucking folding the shit out of this thing.
Charlotte did not give a fuck as far as the organization. They're clapping right now. They're drinking their champagne.
Exactly. But if they were in this thing, you're going to tell all these young cats. Terry might be a little mad, but he'll be like, all right. You're not telling either of these teams, especially the Pacers, starting with the head coach, we're about to fold this bitch. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. We're going to be able to tell if either team is actually
like we did with Charlotte today.
Yeah, if they're actually executing the whole what have we been calling it? The tank. They execute the tank for the lottery and the playing game. Yeah, we'll definitely be able to see. But I don't see either one of the organizations definitely want them to. Like, this is going to be a great draft this coming up here.
Right.
They definitely, the top 15 teams are going to get a good one.
And they might have a chance to jump everyone with those flat odds, it's a chance.
Yeah, so they definitely want it, but it's going to be very hard to tell either of these teams and them actually go through with it.
All right, so let's talk about the game. Now, let's assume both teams are trying. I hope they are. I'm sure they will. Who do you have here? I mean, it's really like the Westbrook and Beal show, which on the best of best nights, they could beat any team. They could beat the 76ers. They could beat the Nets. But more often than not, Westbrook's going to shoot you out of the game. And then the fundamental game of Indiana, that's a better coach team, potentially a better superstar, maybe in Domantas Sabonis. Who do you have coming out of this one?
If Rudy can play some more, Hachimura, Rui can play some more and be able to do something against Sabonis, then maybe. But with the Pacers playing such a big lineup,
they're going to play Bertans. The Wizards will, because he's the bigger one.
Yeah,
he's the bigger guy.
Well, no. So in this past game, let's go back. Bertans. Oh yeah, he did get 33 minutes. You're right.
Yeah, he's their big guy. He's their big player.
But he didn't do shit. Like, he got
he doesn't anymore.
He got 1 rebound. Yeah. But Rudy was in there 17 minutes. But he's going to, and against the Pacers, he's going to have to score too. But if Rudy's able to get in there and hang with Sabonis, then they definitely have a chance. But it's going to be hard to beat that team because they're still without LeVert, I think. So it's going to be really hard to beat that team that's playing as a team. when you're going up against people who have two guys, and you have to hope that the
both of them suck.
Very minimal role players. Not even that. You have to hope that not even that Rui is going to be able to lock down and do something against their star. Yeah. It's not Bradley Beal or Russell Westbrook that's guarding Sabonis. It's going to be one of these guys, and Alex Len, or it's so
Robin Lopez coming off the bench or something.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to rely on. So that's going to be the thing. If the guards are able to beat one guy, that's what this game's against, and that's all credit to the Pacers head coach. I don't know his fucking name.
It's not Nate McMillan anymore, is it?
No, it's some fucking weird wannabe Dan Snyder looking ass dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Nate McMillan.
I think.
I don't know who their head coach is. I still thought it was Nate McMillan. So.
All right.
What happened to Nate McMillan? Where's he at?
I don't fucking know. I gotta pee.
All right. Well, anyways, I think the Wizards are going to win. They're at home this time. The Pacers aren't at home anymore.
Can I go pee?
Sure, you can go. You can go pee. I think the Wizards are going to win. I think they have a good shot to be at home. They're going to be mad. They're going to want to win. Westbrook and Bill don't want to lose. They've been hearing that shit forever, that all they do is lose. Westbrook's been hearing that forever, and he's been in the finals before. Bill's been hearing that forever, and he's been in the NCAAs before. So he does his thing. They both do their thing, and they don't want to lose. I don't think Sabonis can win a game against those guys by himself. So without LeVert, I think it's just too much. The Hornets didn't have anybody that could stop him. Bridges tried, and that's just the way it is. Man, CLP's fast as fuck. We did not edit that, guys. He's just a very fast peer.
That was fast to you? I felt like that was one of yours.
It was fast. I think it was like 10 seconds.
I felt like that was one of yours.
I barely, like, if you could have walked to the bathroom and back, I think it would have taken the same amount of time. Go walk to the bathroom and back.
All right.
Shit. I don't know how far his bathroom is, but
this show sucks.
I don't know how far his bathroom is, but anyways, so we're ready to end the podcast anyway. So we are gonna shout out one more time when Seal does get back.
I'm back.
Yeah, I guess it was slightly long, but not too bad. We're gonna shout out one more time.
What
we shouted out at the beginning. Kevin Harlan. This man went for his dreams. He, like we said, obviously, if you listen to the beginning and if you stuck around listening to this shit show for the entire time,
I'm sorry.
Thank God for you guys. But Kevin Harlan used to peer through with his own recording device under the bleachers because he couldn't get even a good spot on the bleachers to record and talk about the games. That is drive. That is how you chase your dreams. We talked about it now, I think, for 3 straight podcasts in our shout out, chase your dreams, do your dreams, do what you want to do what you can do. Big shout out to Kevin Harlan. I'm so sad. I love when the playoffs show up, but now I'm sad because that means they're about to be over. And TNT doesn't even get the NBA finals. So maybe they'll just invite him in. I don't know what they'll do.
Yeah,
but
the Eastern Conference Finals are slated to be his last calls.
One. So that really sucks, man. And I'm gonna miss the man, but really just take lessons from Kevin Harlan. I'm sure he'll continue to be in the game. He'll continue to coach people, teach people, do something because he just can't get out. But Seal, take us out.
Yeah, and also with that, he's been around forever, and we can both attest to with 2K and with TNT calls, he's just become something that's more of a normalcy. And I can tell you, I used to appreciate him, and it's just become more of somebody that's there. And you just have to learn to appreciate things that you know are great. We both agree that he's one of the best ever, and every time I hear him, I love it. I fucking love whenever he's calling it, way better than I love when old Dundy's calling it, or Gundy or whatever it is.
Gundy.
Yeah, and so yeah, but you just with that, yeah, chase your dreams and appreciate life, appreciate things in the moment. Don't take them for granted. Don't take them for normalcy, because one day everything comes to an end, like we see with Kevin Harlan, who's been in it almost 60 years. Appreciate it. Chase your dreams. Have a good week, guys. Be a stud, not a scrub.